going to show you how you can use the grown together dies and the foundations to make shaped cards. So this is really useful way to use these foundation dies. So this is the happy birthday. So I don't know if you can see that backwards. So that's your happy birthday, and this is the charisma that it's going to cut out. So we're going to do that in a minute. But before we do that, I'm going to make my card shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an over the edge card with this. So I've taken a piece of card and I've marked the middle point. I can rub those pencil lines out when I've finished. And then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to put about half of it over the line. So we're just going to come to here and I'm just going to make sure, right, now the most important thing here is that I get my happy birthday level. So I'm going to pop that in there because I need to make sure that that wording is straight. Because as I've said before, that would really annoy me if it wasn't. So I can pop that on there like that. Then I'm going to tape, let's just see if I can get this to lift out. So I'll lift that, there we go. I can then lift that one out. That's the joy of your magnetic poker tool. You see, if you didn't know you needed a magnetic poker tool, now you know why you do. So I'm going to tape that down, hold that there, get rid of that. And then I'm going to pop that onto my die cutting machine. Now I need to do this slightly differently. So what I need to do is I need to do this on this way round here. So what I'm going to do is I want this bit here to cut. So I'm just going to pop it onto my card base there, and then I'm going to get another piece of tape and I'm going to tape it onto my base plate. The other good reason for having those marks on. So what happens here is when it's cutting, it can only cut where there's pressure. And because this is off the base plate, there is no pressure, clearly. So I can turn my glass mat over, make sure that lines up just right. There we go. And we can run that through the die cutting machine. Doesn't matter which way up you run it. So what that's going to do is that's going to cut just where there's pressure. So it's going to cut the top half of that die and the bottom half of the die, this bit, won't cut because there's no plates over it. So it's a really good way to do it. So it's really simple. We call it partial cutting. So that's going to go through there. You could just hear the machine slow down as it approached the die. Now look at that, there we go. Perfect. Let's see if we can get that off there. I just want to get that off there. Now that's just caught, but that's going to be on the back so I can get away with that. There we go. So can you see now we've cut half the card, and then all I do, now you should do it with a scoreboard, but I'm just going to do it for speed and fold that down there like that. And that now has given me a lovely over the top shaped card. Now you've got the bit cut out at the back, but that's absolutely fine. But how about that all in one shaped card? So I'm going to bring that down here and then, oh, let's move that out of the way. So the next thing we need to do is we need to cut our sentiment. So again, we're just going to pop it on top like that, line it up, line up the charisma absolutely perfectly. Let's pinch this tape back off here, like there. And we're going to line that up, hold that tight. There we go. And pop that through a die cutting. This might reject because I can see I've not lined my plates up. I wonder if this is going to come back or is it going to take it? I was a bit sloppy there and put my plates together a bit quick. Oh no, it's all right. Sometimes if your plates aren't lined up, it doesn't like it because basically you're overfilling the mouth. But that took that okay. Now look at that, every bit. You see, we've not been using our cut tidy at all here. Some detailed ones you need to, some you don't. So let's pop this out of here. The thing is, the pressure is so good in your Pro Cut that sometimes your tape does get a little bit stuck, but that's waste, so it's all right. Now look at this. So this has been printed on my Pro paper, and look at that. Look at the detail. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So we've got that. Let's see what we've got here. So I'm going to use this one because I put some little pearls on here, and I've got some of my backing paper, again off the USB. So I've got that, and I've also used the foundation to cut, oops, the wrong thing, the whole of that foundation die. So it goes just there. So let's just put this one on first. So I'm going to do this way round. So sometimes I do like to prep my toppers first, because that means then if something goes wrong, you're only having to throw away your topper, not the whole of your card base. Just makes it easier. Put that there, and then this is going to go at the bottom. So I've just got a little border, top and bottom, sorry, and two sides. Isn't this paper gorgeous? And you can see how, let me just put this there. Can you see how it just follows through with that theme? And the thing I like about this is when I put this together, the sentiment's coming in from the left and this pattern design is coming in from the right. So it's all about balancing your cards, and I felt that this balanced this card up really, really well. I'm going to turn that round so I can see, and then I'm going to put a little line up there, nice and straight. So we can pop that there. There we go. Can you see? Nice even border, bottom and sides, and then peel that out. And then if you want to, I can show you, I'm going to just take that down. There we go, so we can see. And then this piece is going to go over there. So what I'm going to do here is I have actually put foam tape on, but I'm going to use my wet glue as well, because I need to know it's going to line up perfectly. So there we go. Just take all of this off. There we are. You know me and the backing of tape, we're not best of friends. They never come off when you need them to. That's peeling off the backing. There we are. And the next one, we'll get there in a minute. And I just need to take that piece off. Oops. And this little piece off. Oops, that's peeling the tape off. Don't want that to happen. Come on, backing off. It's because I've trimmed it down. There we go. Oh, right, that's just lifted that, but we can sort that. So all we're going to do, get rid of all these bits, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue under there where it's peeled off. There we go. And then we can just put a couple of bits of glue over the foam. So what this means is it gives us a little bit of wiggle room that we wouldn't otherwise have with our foam tape, because the glue is going to touch before the foam does. That means that it gives me that chance to line it up perfectly. I'm just going to bring it towards me a minute just while I line it up. There we go. So, oops, there we go. Can you see? Absolutely perfect. And then I'm going to take my sentiment. So again, look at this. This is where the grown together really comes together. So you can see how the words just look like they have grown out of these beautiful florals. So turn it over, and I'm just going to shape behind the flowers. There we go, and behind there. Turn that over. I'm just going to do that, and then I'm just going to come shape down on these leaves. So what do we need to do? We need to turn that over. I'm going to get my pin flare glue, and I'm going to fill in those little holes with the pin flare glue, bit behind the foliage. Make sure, because we don't want it flapping around. And then I'm going to get my wet glue and come behind my sentiment just to pop that on flat. Now, if you are really good with your pin flare, you could even have this elevated, but I'm just going to put this bit on flat to the card. There we go. Turn this round, bring the card in, so we can pop that in just there, and that is then, and can you see the difference by putting that matte layer behind? Now my sentiment has got cobbled up. We can sort that. There we are. How about that? Looking absolutely gorgeous. Now the other thing I've done is I've cut it again and I've trimmed it out. As I was saying, trimmed out the sentiment, which is really easy to do, and then we can add that one on, and that is going to create some decoupage for us. You can go as many layers as you like. I'm just going to do 2, but you could do 2, 3, 4 layers. It's entirely up to you. So just make sure you glue down all the end externally bits. Bring that in, and that's going to go just over there like that. Now lift that up and show you. How about that? Can you see? I'm going to turn it round. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So we have our happy birthday sentiment, we have our matching paper, and oops, sorry, on my glass mat. It's balanced really well by having the pattern coming from one side and the sentiment and florals coming from another, but we've used our dies to create our shaped cards.